If you ever get into anything new, be that sports, video games, or shows, you begin wanting to know more about that certain subject. You want to know the inner workings of said subject so that you can fully appreciate it as a whole. Well, that's how I felt about anime when I started to get deeper into the big field of shows. And when I did get into watching all the different series I got to a point where I didn't know what to watch anymore. So naturally, the next step was looking for good recommendations on shows to watch. And the likely best place to get that info was asking someone you know, which I did a lot, and yes, some shows were flops, but others were nice as fuck. So with me being the nice person I am, I wanted to recommend some more shit to you guys. Yeah, I don't know, I'm still bad at transitioning, so I apologize for the shitty introduction. Anyway, I wanted to talk about some random shows that I think everybody should watch. So yeah, I hope you enjoy my shitty takes. This show has a special place in my heart because of its genius way of presenting itself. Occasionally, I come across shows where I'm like, what the fuck am I watching, and why do I love this so much? I mean, you'd think this weird animated show about ping pong would be dumb as hell and not something you'd like, but man, it just grabs a hold of you and makes you keep watching it. And one of the big reasons of this is because of the story. The story is simple, primarily focusing on the lives of two boys and their experiences with table tennis. We're introduced to Makoto Tsushimoto, sorry I'm too white to pronounce that right, or nicknamed Smile, and his overconfident best friend Yukata Hoshino, or Peko. They are opposite in personality and have unique skill sets that rival most of the competition since they have been playing ping pong for most of their lives. As the perfectly paced show progresses, you begin to see the hardships that they have to go through in life, and what comes through their minds as they push to get better in their sports. This show can be enjoyed by almost anyone, even if you don't give a shit about table tennis. I mean, shit, I didn't think I'd get so into this show as I did. Yeah, the art is weird as fuck and isn't perfect at all, but it casts the vibes so perfectly that it's masterfully blended. Seeing the hardships that the characters had to go through taught valuable life lessons. I don't know why, I just connected with the show so much, so that's why I think you'll love it. And by no means is this a light watch, but I think it's worth binging. When I see an anime remake, I have mixed opinions, since execution is key and sometimes new remakes fall hard. But many remakes have come out well, some examples being Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Devilman Crybaby, and Fruits Basket. And with that being said, I also think Dororo did a good job as well. I mean, it's easy to make something better if the original comes out in the 1960s, but I think the show took most of the good qualities from the original and made it way better. One reason was because of the story. This story follows a ronin named Hyakimaru. That probably sounds so white. Anyways, he is born with no limbs, no nose, no eyes, no ears, nor even skin. Yet still he survives, all while being required to kill demons to tame his missing parts. He is then accompanied by a troublesome orphan thief named Dororo during his travel. From there, the duo travels around various countries hunting for ghouls and demons. When I first discovered this show, I quickly fell in love with it. I mean, it had awesome fights along with a dark story, and one of my favorite studios being Mappa was adapting it, so this was another pro. While it is by no means a masterpiece due to its flaws in terms of some of the script writing, it is still a must-see experience and a classic for any mainstream anime fan. I hope a lot more shows from older generations get new adaptations like this so that new fans of this world enjoy them as well. I know there will be points in the show that leave a bad taste, but I can still honestly say it's worth your time. This show feels timeless while also showing its age, since the manga did come out in the 80s. Yes, the show has some gay shit to it, so if that's not your cup of tea, then it might not be appealing, but there's so much more than it just looking like a yaoi. But first, let's get into the story. The story primarily focuses on a boy named Aslan Jade Colonries, sorry I'm white, but is better known as Ash Lynx. He is a runaway who lives in New York City that gets raised by a godfather in the mafia. As he gets older, he becomes the boss in his own gang, and begins investigating the mysterious banana fish drug, which relates to his older brother Griffin, who said these words after an incident happened in Iraq. As he dives more into the mystery, he is also getting into more heat with the mafia, who is trying to hinder him from discovering more about this said drug. This is when a boy comes into the picture who is named Eiji Akamura, sorry I'm white, a Japanese photographer reporting on American street gangs. As the shit hits the fan, he and Ash begin to get closer, building a bond while also trying to get to the bottom of this banana fish drug. I really enjoyed Banana Fish, but with that being said, I think the show is needed to be seen with more of an open mind, since it does dive into heavy topics such as drugs, rape, gangs, PTSD, violence, and corruption. It also dives into the sexual relation on the male side, like I said before, which I know to some isn't their cup of tea, but if you're open minded, then I know you'll enjoy the show. Reality kicks in when dealing with these heavy topics, since these subjects are talked about in today's age. It depicts the true side of humanity while also reminding us of the hope and love in life that pulls out an array of emotions. Despite the flaws in its story and adaptation, it still does a wonderful job. I highly recommend giving this show a shot, even if you think you might not like it. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you give these shows a shot because I promise you that they'll be worth it even if they have certain flaws. And yes, I know these aren't perfect and many won't, like these shows. But hey, it's still worth the binge in my opinion. Anyway, if you don't mind, I'd love it if you would like and subscribe. It gives me good feedback on my videos and makes me feel good inside. Also, leave a comment below on your thoughts on these shows if you like them or not. I don't know. Anyway, I think my next video will probably be more of an in-depth video on certain subject that I want to talk about. So hopefully you look forward to that. Alright, I'll end the video now, so peace.